Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zaki, and in this video we're going to be talking about Valorant lore and when should we expect to see more lore. I know a number of you are really interested in it, and honestly we have had some amazing lore over the past year, but people are wondering what is going on. Why is it that sometimes we see some really quiet times and now is one of those times? Let's have a look at a thread that Disturbo posted yesterday, and it gained quite a bit of traction. Valorant lore has been really quiet as of late. Disturbo posted this yesterday and I wanted to have a look at this on stream. I have made my own thoughts clear in this thread, and honestly I wanted to wait to see what the reaction was going to be after around 24 hours. We're at that now, where it's currently 6:27 p.m. and this was tweeted out on 6:21 p.m. so literally 24 hours and 7 minutes later after this post was made. So of course Disturbo is one of the I would say a very dedicated lore enthusiast in Valorant, right, alongside Simprel and others who do amazing things for the lore community as far as organizing things together, trying to make things make sense for more and more people as they try and get into the lore space. Of course, welcoming everyone into that Discord community that they have made is an amazing stuff that they are all doing. And with that said, let's jump into this topic, which is when will we see more lore? What is happening? Well, thankfully the creative director for Valorant, David Nottingham, as usual has weighed in on the Twitter topic, as I think he saw a lot of people were getting a bit upset, distressed about the fact that of course we haven't seen lore in roughly about a month and a half from now. That might be wrong, but I think it's been roughly around that time. So let's go through this and I'm going to give you my thoughts, because I have been fortunate enough to speak with the creative director, to speak with one of the writers in a call maybe about a month or 2 months ago at this point, with a couple of other creators. A very small call, but yes, it was very interesting and helpful. So of course, let's go through this. Valorant lore has been really quiet as of late. Of course, praise to Simprel for dropping us some content in this drought. And of course, we have Sudo's take about, you know, the fact, and they're not wrong here, right? We'll be busy in a month when the new agent releases. So, and this is the thing, what we should expect, and I think some people know this, having been in the community and having been active and, you know, doing things constantly for the past, say, 6 to 8 to 10 months. The reality is that every month is different with Valorant, and what that means is it's actually alternating months. What we normally have, what we normally see, is 1 month where we have new agent teasers, potentially map teasers, depending on what time of year it is, etc. And that all goes towards the Valorant lore. And then eventually, of course, the climax happens where we see new trailers, new previews, new etc through social media, etc. Like, for example, the Raise Color of Town cinematic. Now, the thing is that after that happens, basically the new agent drops or whatever happens, and then everything goes incredibly quiet. So we're going to have a look at that right now. So I've actually written myself, it has really been quiet. I would really appreciate the lore drops that we do see being spaced out more. No doubt we'll be overwhelmed next month, but yeah, it's one of the reasons I've stopped posting for the time being, apart from the Bhutan video. Now I will be reacting to that video because these videos just don't do very well. And I do honestly, I really hope that Riot at some point start giving people like myself and like Simprel, I'd assume as well, with how much work they put into lore. I think it would be great for Riot to really champion the lore community more, because I think, you know, the team, the creative team themselves do an incredible job for how small the team is. I have spoken with the team, and so I'm aware of how small the team is, and they are doing an excellent job. But unfortunately, for those of us who are trying to cover lore, for those of us who are trying to theorize, speculate, I don't feel like it's as supported as much as other topics within Valorant. So anyway, let's continue with the thread. Obviously, incorrect Valorant quote saying, I agree, it really has been. I hope they make it up by dropping something big, because I'm really curious. And of course, exactly my thoughts. And we're going to have a look at what David has to say in a second. But I also want to go back to this real quick. What actually ends up happening is that 1 month, and that will be August this time around. So in roughly 3 or 4 days from now, I know that I am going to be overwhelmed. And when I say I know, I'm basing this off the past roughly year's experience of running Valorant Hub pretty much every single day, where I have been covering everything going on. And realistically, 1 month we will be completely overwhelmed, and I'm talking overwhelmed not from a good perspective, but from a I don't know if I can deal with this perspective. And then the next month we'll be in a drought. We're going to go over that now because David has kind of explained this, which is really good. I'm really grateful that he takes part in the community like this. So David's first response to the first thing, right? Are you talking about in-game drops or general presence on social media like here, Discord, etc., where of course David and the creative team generally will be in the Valorant Lore Discord answering questions, etc. We've been nose to the grindstone. Now this right here, I know I am under no illusion that the creative team work incredibly hard. We're going to continue going, right? So Disturbo responds in-game drops are always fun, but it's not only that. The reveal of KO left us with so many questions, which would be great content for social media posts like continuation to the teaser. The last drop was the Instagram quizzes 2 weeks ago, which were more of a recap than news. It's also summertime. With the amount of free time it brings, it would have been incredible to be able to discuss lore without going back to the same. In any case, of course, and Disturbo's essentially just being nice here, which I completely appreciate. And then of course I came in from my perspective, when we have slow stress quiet times, the creative team is going full throttle behind the scenes. I genuinely believe that. Last time that I was worried about a drought, we were in a drought, and then what ended up happening is we saw more lore than we'd seen generally pretty much in the past year, right? We saw the year 1 anniversary anthem, basically. We saw the raise color or cinematic trailer. People, I'm not sure how many people realized how huge that really was. That was our first ever time seeing an OG Valorant agent, not just a reveal trailer necessarily, but an actual revealed already agent. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my train of thought going here, where we actually saw their background. We saw where they came from, you know. We saw Grace's hometown, we saw her garage, we saw her tinkering with her bots, etc. And that was really, really huge. When we have slow times, the creative team is going full throttle behind the scenes, especially for the team size. They're doing an incredible job. Pacing for content is currently the difficulty for content and discussion, in my opinion. And honestly, yes, the reality is that Valorant Hub, whenever we talk about new agent stuff, especially if it's speculation or leak debunks, I get shit on. I just do. I get horrible comments, dislike bombed. Now, when there's nothing else to talk about, the channel basically deflates and other channels are essentially given exclusives, which leaves Valorant Hub in a horrible position. But that's for a different video. We're not going to talk too much about that right now, because I want to have a look more at what David was saying, right? So David's also saying, yes, pacing is something we are aware of too. Often we are putting so much time and energy into landing off those big drops, new agents, new maps, and then we barely recover before working on the next one. We want to build stronger muscle to be able to put out bigger content, intermediate and also steady small drops. It takes time because we need to build in sustainable ways. Some open questions around lore are intentional, as we want to explore them at a future point when we can meaningfully tap into a backstory. But as we build our content muscle, we can increase the range of content drops so it's not just big but also intermediate and small, resulting in a more steady stream. We'll have more discussions about what we are doing to get content to folk, definitely lighter than I would like right now, but we are also laying down tracks for stuff that I believe will provide more of what you were looking for. Keep an eye out for the next act. Now here's the thing, when I spoke with David along with a couple of other creators, and I'm very, very grateful to the conversation that we had, thank you Riot for setting it up. When we spoke, the impression that I had based on what they were saying is that episode 3 is going to be a big episode for lore. Now the reality is that prior to episode 3, episode 2, act 3, we saw so much lore. I was so happy. I was also pooping myself because what I thought was going to happen has kind of happened, where we get 1 month of overwhelming content, which is amazing, but then the next month we're given nothing, right? Pretty much nothing, right? And I think that is because the creative team is quite small, but also I do believe that there is more to this than what the creative team are able to do. The reality is, I think that it would be amazing for Valorant to start championing those of us who bring forward discussion about Valorant lore. There really isn't a lot of that, and to keep channels like Valorant Hub and other channels, there aren't really many lore channels at all. There's a reason for it. It's not sustainable. It's not. You know, the reality is, yes, there are constant drops, but even when there are content drops, Riot don't champion us. They just don't. And I would love to work with Riot more. I have asked. I would love to work with Riot more to do more things, because the reality is, even those of us who are interested in lore, who aren't YouTubing and Twittering and stuff, a lot of audiences just don't see a lot of what's happening because Riot aren't promoting it. It's as simple as that. So these are my thoughts right now on what's happening. I appreciate Valorant for what they're doing, but I also would appreciate more as far as the marketing is concerned. I don't think it even has anything too much to do with the creative team. It might do, but the other problem is, that is my issue, is that we don't know because communication isn't always there. So when are we going to be getting more lore? Well, we're meant to be getting more of it over basically the second half of this year, which is where we're in right now. I truly believe that when things are quiet, that the creative team are grinding out, which means that next act we will likely see some crazy stuff. It might even be that we'll see a lot of, and what I hope doesn't happen is that we see a lot of stuff happen next month, and then the month afterwards we see nothing. I'm really hoping that we can get past that at some point, because there aren't pretty much any Valorant lore channels, and I'm saying this as Valorant Hub, right? Valorant Hub is literally about to hit 100,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for the past year. Of all people to talk about it, I'm the person to talk about this, I think. You know, obviously there are others like Simprel doing an amazing job, but from a consistent video perspective, it is not sustainable right now, and that's where we are right now, which is why I'm posting Zaki number 2. So anyway, with that being said, I've sort of done a little vent here, a little rant here, but I think it's needed, and I'm going to continue to be vocal about this, and hopefully will be heard. With that being said, though, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm excited for this next half of the year. Hopefully we're going to see some really good stuff. I do believe we will. I just hope that it is easier for content creators to actually have something to do, because right now we just don't, and there are no lore channels that are thriving really at all. There aren't any, like, simply as that. So yeah, and the only ones that are basically taking a bunch of research from other people and then not crediting them. So have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.